we are. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? We are live from the Emerald Princess somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. We got a sea day today, a sea day tomorrow, and then we finally arrive in Kauai in Hawaii. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We are coming to you at a special time because we are 4 hours behind Eastern time right now. So yeah, we couldn't quite wake up early enough to do our normal 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We book cruises, land, luxury, expedition. Our services are 100% free to use. So if we can help you in any way, just reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. There's links in the description. If you're watching on TikTok, there's links in the bio. So simply reach out. And Mike wants to know, did the seas calm down? Yes, the seas have calmed down quite a bit. It actually got to the point, you know, we've been cruising almost 20 years now. And it got to the point where we actually had to leave our aft balcony. We have a balcony literally right on the aft on deck 11, and we had to leave our balcony just because the swells were so big. So what's been happening is there's been some big weather around Hawaii, and there were two big storms directly in our path to get to Hawaii from Los Angeles. And so what the ship did was it made about a 200 nautical mile deviation south to get under these storms. But you know, if you know anything about the storms in the ocean, the effect can be felt for hundreds of miles away. And we just had, it wasn't like rough weather, it's just these big rolling swells. Probably a good, 15 to 20 feet, some of them, like some of them really lifted the ship up. And it was just constant for 48 hours. And after a while, it's just like we started getting a headache in the room. So we did what we always tell everybody to do, get low, get to the middle. So we came down to deck 7. Around the middle of the ship, just hung out there for a few hours, just kind of let our head settle down a little bit. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy, it's been absolutely crazy with these big rolling swells, and it's some of the worst rolling and pitching that we've ever had in the 20 years. It was all front to back. That's a good thing. We weren't rocking side to side. It was all front to back, so that was good. But because we're on the very, very back of the ship, we were definitely getting lifted up into the air. So Ace wants to know, did we take any motion sickness medicine? I have not, but Rebecca has been using her bands. She has the little C bands with the pressure points on them, and she has been using those. But I did not take any. Rebecca did drink some ginger ale. I drank a little bit of ginger ale. Ginger is good for you.
And they had candied ginger in the buffet one of the afternoons.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of green apples, so Rebecca's been eating green apples. The crews swear by green apples, so green apples are supposed to be really good for you as well if you're feeling a little motion sick.
Luckily, I like green apples.
I've been drinking tea. Yeah, so yeah, as you just heard, Rebecca said, luckily she likes green apples.
Kind of prefer them.
Yeah, kind of prefer them. Hey, Candace is here. Rick, hi. Barbara, Diane, stay still. I love that. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Mike is saying that there's reports of power outages in Hawaii. Yeah, apparently they're under a wind advisory, or they've been under a wind advisory in at least some of the islands in Hawaii. So I'm kind of curious. I have a helicopter booked for Kauai in 2 days, and we have some friends who have been on a Holland America cruise ahead of us, and they have missed a couple of ports, or they missed at least one port, and they had an extra day in Honolulu because they couldn't get out of Honolulu. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens when we actually get there. Hopefully, the weather is dying down. Hopefully we're going to have everything. Hey, Eric, how are you? Good to see you. Have a seat, man. Pull up. So, instead of being in the chat, Eric is actually sitting right here with us. So that's kind of fun. And Eric is going to be doing Hawaii again in November on an amazing cruise with Mindy.
Yes, that will be fun.
Yeah, so not only are they going to go from LA to Hawaii, they're going to go all the way to Tokyo. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes as well. Somebody said, where is Walter? Diane wants to know, where is Walter? We are somewhere, we're getting close. We're 2 days away from Hawaii. So we left Los Angeles, but we got a full sea day today, we got a full sea day tomorrow, then we arrive in Hawaii. And actually, the ship could get there in 4 days if it really wanted to, but they kind of slow it down and take it easy. and also because of all the other ships that are out there.
Wow.
The Queen Mary 2 is right behind us. I'm kind of hoping that maybe we might see her. That would be really cool if we saw her. The Queen Mary 2 had a historic meeting with the original Queen Mary, which is now a hotel, which Carol stayed there, Eric stayed there. You guys loved it, right?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the Queen Mary 2, the Queen Mary in Long Beach, I want to stay there too. If we weren't in Disneyland, you know, before the cruise, definitely would have been there. But highly recommend the Queen Mary Hotel. Our guests stayed there. Every one of them loved it. Nobody saw ghosts though, right? No ghosts?
We are very disappointed.
We're so disappointed that you guys did not see a ghost. So yeah, that is funny. So, hey Tom. Thanks for taking Gary B's time slot, allowing you to normally sleep in on a Sunday. I know, I don't think Gary's doing a live. Gary is hosting a really cool Panama Canal cruise right now. I've been following along with him. So yeah, Gary Bembridge is doing that. I don't think he's live. I just chose noon because we're 4 hours behind the East Coast right now. We're gonna be 5 hours behind the East Coast when we get to Hawaii, so it's gonna be kind of crazy. Let's see, Sonia, thank you so much for taking care of me even through traveling. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. You know, that's one thing I do. I work usually like 4 hours a day, maybe 5 hours a day, even while we're on the road. And since we've had these long sea days, I've had time to take care of things. So, and for the most part, the phones are working. For the most part, the video chat is working. So, well, video chat actually is not working all that great, but the audio is working great. I'm glad. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everything's good in Chicago. Going on a Christmas market cruise in November from Paris to Zurich. Ooh, that's going to be lovely. Have we been on that before? We have not been on that, but that is actually one of the things that we're doing next year in 2027. In fact, I'll pop that up on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube right now. But no, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going from Basel, Switzerland up to Frankfurt. You've got a really nice one going from Paris down to Zurich. And one of the things I will say is when I was looking up the Christmas markets and what we're going to do and all that before, I saw that Zurich actually had some beautiful Christmas markets as well. So I think we're going to end up flying into Zurich a few days early and probably exploring
and the
some of those
flights are
markets.
better to Zurich too.
Yeah, and the flights are better to Zurich from Orlando. So, and plus I've seen some of these videos of these trains that, you know, going up through the mountains and it looks like a snow globe, and it's like, I want to see if I can figure out one of these train rides and go do one of these train rides. But if anybody wants to join us, Christmas time on the Rhine, we're going to be on the Avalon View, and our prices, although I haven't looked lately, our prices as of like 2 weeks ago are $700 per person less than what Avalon is advertising, because I locked in these rates, and my rates are locked until the ship sells out. We've got about 71 people already booked on this group, and the ship holds like 140, 150. So we've got like half the ship already. So let's try to get the whole ship. Everybody else should just come along. This is going to be December 7th through the 14th, 2027. So we picked those dates because you'll be home for Thanksgiving, you'll be home for Christmas, and then you can come to Europe right in the middle there, do some Christmas shopping, have some fun, and then be the envy of your entire family because you come back with all these cool gifts from Europe that nobody else got. But we're going to start in Basel. We go to Breisach, Kiel, which will be your jumping off point for Strasbourg, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and Frankfurt. Again, our savings are up to $700 per person off. You can go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel, and you will see all of the trips right there. We also have really good solo rates too that we locked in. Now it's not a 100%, you know, only a solo, but it's not 200%. I think it's around 125%, 135% for the solo. So it's not, you know, it's not horrible for our solo travelers. And if you scroll all the way to the very bottom of the page on our website, you will see all the pricing on there as well. So I hope you, I hope you have an amazing time going over there. And I hope some of the rest of you can join us in December of 2027. That's December 7th through the 14th of 2027. So it would be awesome to have you guys come along. Let's see, Rick. See, you've been there, you had to do that when you were in the Navy going to Hawaii. I assume you're talking about green apples and some of that rough weather. Hey, Darla, how you doing? 22 days until your Explora Caribbean cruise. Oh, man. Hoping the weather calms down as you are prone to seasickness. Yeah, you know, the Caribbean is usually pretty good. This has been kind of crazy. with the up and down swells out there. Today it's not bad. I'm kind of bummed. I had this beautiful spot all set up. You guys were going to be looking at the wake the whole time, but then the big clouds started coming in. I was afraid it was going to rain, so we're inside. We're actually sitting in Crooner's Lounge right now. This is a staple of Princess. Pretty much every Princess ship has the Crooner's Lounge. It's a very popular spot in the evening. You've got your piano player over here. Sometimes they'll have like a secondary singer with them, but for the most part, it is the piano player in the evening, so it's really, really fun. And has Eric been enjoying the sanctuary?
I've been loving the sanctuary. It's great.
Alex, Eric is absolutely loving the sanctuary on this ship. Now keep in mind the sanctuary on all of the Princess ships is different than the sanctuary on Star and Sun. Star and Sun have a unique, brand new ship within a ship kind of experience up there. The rest of them, the sanctuary is up in the front of the ship, and you book a day bed. You book one of these really nice loungers, either by the day, by the week, by the cruise. You got it for the whole cruise, right? So he picked his bed. You can relax up there. You got the little servers running around.
Water, bar service, everything.
Yeah. Water, bar service. He just snaps his fingers.
Blanket.
They show up. You get the blanket. He falls asleep. So yes, he's very much. The sanctuary is a great spot. What's nice about it? I mean, there's no hot tub. There's no pool. Although there's
There's
a
a
pool.
hot tub.
Yeah, there's
Oh, is there a hot tub now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, there's always been a hot tub.
Okay, I didn't realize there were hot tubs.
We
up
don't
there.
use hot tubs,
I never,
so
I
yeah.
never noticed them. But actually, there kind of is a pool too, because the sanctuary pool is right behind you. The spa pool.
That's right
behind you.
Tubs are. It's down on the.
Oh, okay.
lower
So it's
deck.
down there. Okay. No, I just meant like in the sanctuary area itself. There's nothing up there. Yeah. So in the sanctuary area, it is all these beautiful padded loungers, and they're all numbered. So you actually pick yours. Like every time you come up, that's going to be your lounger. So it's really nice. And then the pool and the hot tubs are right behind you. Go down the stairs. They're right behind you. Barbara wants to know. Let's see. Do we have any experience with Princess Alaska cruises in May? Yeah, a lot. We have sold a couple of hundred Princess Alaska cruises now over the past few years. So
And we've been on a Princess
we've
Alaska
been on a
cruise.
Princess cruise tour in May. So the thing about going up in May, and I like this, so obviously it's still going to be cooler, right? April, May, still going to be cooler to coming out of winter. But what I loved about it is all the babies are out in May. So you got the baby moose, you got the baby owls, you got the baby grizzly bears, you got all the babies are out. In fact, we were on a hike, and the tour guide kind of stopped us because this big moose was like suddenly right in front of us, and then we had to wait. And the little baby came crawling out and walked by. It was so adorable. So yeah, so if you go up in the spring in May, and plus the crowds aren't quite there yet. It's starting about mid-June. When all the kids are out of school, mid-June till towards the end of August. That's prime time. There are up to 100 ships in Alaska now. It is crazy, especially when you consider there's only about 370 cruise ships operating right now. There's like around 100 that are up there in Alaska during that time. So yeah, May is a great time to go up there. If you'd like some help, setting up an Alaska cruise, just reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Either myself or Mindy or Corey will get in touch with you and get you all set up for an Alaska cruise. But yeah, Princess, Alaska. In fact, Princess is probably our #1 vendor now, but Alaska is something that we have sent a lot of people up to Alaska lately. Yeah,
And
it's
then
great.
the comment before that you missed.
Oh, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca. The special cruises they use for...
It,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Philip is asking, those special cruises that they use for music festivals, do they still have the pools and the hot tubs available? So you're talking about probably like those charter cruises where they do these big music festivals. So the main pool is usually covered with a stage.
maybe not all day.
Well, no, I mean, it is like built.
Oh, okay.
They build the stage right over the whole thing. They are not opening that pool at all. So when you've got the big music festivals, they will literally build a permanent stage right over the middle. The whole middle is just a big performance area. If there are pools in the back and the front, those may still be open, and there probably will be some hot tubs that are open. But when you go on a charter cruise, the company that's chartering the ship basically owns the ship, and they can't do anything they want but they can do almost anything they want. Like for example, we've been talking to Virgin about potentially chartering a ship, and covering that main pool is one of the things that we're talking about. Putting a whole stage right there, turning it into a performance venue. Whether that would be permanent for the whole cruise or not. But there is a company called Stigma, and they do a lot, like they do the Hallmark, they do a lot of the music festivals, and they're all on Norwegian because Norwegian Cruise Line actually owns them. So yeah, so when you go on those charter cruises, the operation of the ship will be different than if you just go on a normal cruise like what we're doing right now. So let's see, any other questions here? Looking at YouTube, the Rhine trip sounds amazing. I know, the Rhine trip is going to be amazing. That is going to be a bucket list. I'll put that back up on the screen for you guys. So it's going to be awesome. Hey, Judy. Benny says hi. He's working in the country fair today. Oh, the county fair today. Hi, Judy and Benny. Is there a Super Bowl party on the ship? No, actually, we're going to have a big cricket festival instead. That's what we're all going to be watching. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, of course.
There's two.
Yeah, there's two Super Bowl parties going on. Of course, you've got the, a lot of people don't realize that Princess actually was the first to do movies under the stars. They put the big screen up by the pool. They're the first ones to do the movies under the stars. So the game will be up at the pool deck, and then also in Club Fusion, which is one of the 2 nightclubs on the ship. They're going to have a big screen set up. Now, if they do it like they did it on the Island Princess, Club Fusion was set up more like a tailgate party, which was a lot of fun. So I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. I don't really have a horse in this race, so but yeah, it is here. So Alex is saying he went to somewhere in Switzerland that I can't pronounce. Top of Europe railway trip. It was great. Okay, that's something I need to look up. That's great. Philip wants to know, is there a cruise line where everything is all inclusive? Well, Regent 7 Seas, Viking.
Well, even Viking doesn't have the gratuities included.
Well, that's true.
But there are lines where it's at least mostly all-inclusive.
Yeah, so the thing with the all-inclusive is usually it's like one shore excursion that would be included at each location, like Silver Sea. If you do the all-inclusive plus, they actually took away the shore excursions at every location, and now they give you shore excursion credit, so you can pick and choose the ones you want. But there are a lot of cruise lines that are mostly inclusive, other than say like the shore excursion. Silver Sea, Explora, Azamara is mostly inclusive. Oceania, mostly inclusive. Virgin Voyages has a lot of inclusion, no alcohol. Princess, if you go Princess Premier, it's essentially an all-inclusive cruise except for the shore excursions. I mean, all the dining, the drinks, the Wi-Fi, everything is included on the ship. There are a couple of exceptions to that. But yeah, if you want everything all-inclusive, then you're going up to, say, Regent, Ponant, Paul Gauguin, Explora, almost. So yeah, so there are some out there that would be all-inclusive, and then there are a ton that are mostly inclusive. So yeah. Is it warm outside? Yes, it's getting much warmer. It's amazing how cool it was that first day. So, hey Michael, how you doing? We are doing very well, thank you. I'm still fighting a little bit of a cold that I got in Disneyland, but otherwise I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. So, Tom, question. You are thinking about joining the Silver Sea January cruise. Oh boy, that would be awesome if you did. You have transited through Miami a number of times. What's the recommendation? By the way, we are sitting in Kerner's Lounge, so we're hearing some jazz in the background.
No, this sounds more Hawaiian. Hawaiian music.
Oh, is this Hawaiian now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Hawaiian. So it kind of gets you in the mood. So everybody, get a little tropical drink out, get your grass skirt on, and start doing a little hula. Okay. Sorry, question. You are thinking about joining the Silver Sea January cruise. You have transit through Miami a number of times. What recommendations for Miami prior? How many days, hotels, and activities? Miami is just a cool town. You can easily spend 2 to 4 days there. So it's totally up to you. And of course, when you got Miami, you got like downtown Miami, you got South Beach, you got Miami Beach. I like South Beach. I'm really partial to South Beach. I love South Beach. What?
Well, you do have to be careful when sometimes when hotels are listed as South Beach, they're very far from most of the South Beach activities.
Yes.
So I can't remember the name of that plaza, but there's a plaza where if you're there or south of there, you're good. But
It's that Lincoln Mall Plaza. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're there or south of there, and once you get north of there, they'll call it South Beach, but
it's really
you're
Miami Beach.
you're far from stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where a travel agent comes in handy to help you out. But yeah, so in Miami, there is a company called Miami Culinary Tours. They do amazing food tours. In South Beach, in the Wynwood Walls area, and somewhere else.
Cute, Little Havana.
Yeah, Little Havana. That's the one I want to do. We have not done that one yet. So I always recommend food tours whenever you go to a city because it's a great way to get around. Like when we go to Philly, we're doing a food tour. So you can do that. The Erotic Museum is hysterical. I love going to the Erotic Museum. It is so much fun. Some of the things these people come up with, you're like, really? Yeah, there's just a lot of great food, a lot of great coffee in Miami. So there's a lot to do there depending on what you want to do. I would say Miami is definitely a good 2-night city if you're going to go down. And you got to be careful with the hotels in the South Beach area too, because like if you're right on Ocean Boulevard, it can be extremely noisy at night with all the traffic and the music and everything going on. So if you're somebody who wants a little bit quieter, kind of got to pick and choose which hotel to stay in.
And if you are mobility challenged, you definitely have to be careful because some of the hotels that are older are not the most mobility accessible friendly.
Right, like
they might have like a little bit of stairs to get up anywhere.
Or some of them have no elevators at all. So if they got 3 or 4 floors, you're going to be walking up the stairs. Now they'll have somebody carry the bags up, but you still have to physically be able to walk up and down the stairs.
Yeah, and even if it's a brand where you might assume like Hilton or one of those that you might assume that's going to be a newer hotel. Well, they're buying up older hotels.
Yeah.
So you still have to be really careful if you have those issues.
Right. So talking about our January cruise, if you guys want to come join us, we have a group on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. This is like the newest of their ship. This is the new Nova series. Absolutely stunningly beautiful ships. We have been getting a lot of requests to put together a group on a more luxury cruise line. We seriously considered Explorer, Crystal, Azamara, and then we latched onto the Silver Sea, partially because the rates are incredible. The rates start at about $5,100 per person for an 11-night cruise, which is like insane for a Silver Sea. This is an almost all-inclusive cruise. And there are 2 ways you can book it. You can book their all-inclusive or the all-inclusive plus. And the plus includes shore excursion credit. It includes a refundable deposit and a few other things. And the pricing actually works out pretty good in both ways. But this is January 5th through the 16th, 2027. We're going to start in Miami, go to San Juan, St. John, U.S. Virgin Island, St. Kitts, Deschutes, Guadeloupe, Antigua, and Tortola. And Deschutes, Guadeloupe is where they shoot the BBC murder mystery series Death in Paradise. And Silver Sea actually has a tour of Death in Paradise. So we're going to be pulling, if you're a fan of that show, we're going to be actually tendering from that bay that you actually see in the town of Honoré, the fictional town of Honoré, and the fictional island of Sainte Marie is Guadeloupe. So if you want to come on that cruise, reach out. Or if you want to come on any of our group cruises, just go to where'swaltertravel.com, go to the group travel page. We've got quite a few of them up there now. I'll walk through them all a little bit later on in the show, but that is the big group cruise coming up in January. Philip wants to know, on chartered cruises, do they still offer drink packages and food included? So on a chartered cruise, whatever typically comes with the ship is still going to come with the ship. In terms of drink packages, food packages, and things like that, that depends. Usually you can still get them, but sometimes what the charter company will do is they may roll the Wi-Fi package and the drink package right into the fare, and then other times you can get it. So that all just depends on the charter. So, have we been on the Enchanted Princess? You're looking to go out of Athens September 26th. We've been on the Sky Princess, which is a sister. She's the Royal class. The Royal class is my favorite class of princess ship. Don't tell the Emerald Princess that. But the Royal class, we're on the Emerald Princess right now. She's a lovely ship. I love this ship. We're having a great time on here. But the Royal class is absolutely stunning. I think it's better than the Sphere class. The new Sun and the Star. Sun and the Star are just, they're stunningly beautiful ships. But there's something about that Royal class that is absolutely gorgeous. I think I know which itinerary you're talking about there. Princess does a really nice job. One of the cool things that Princess does is they will take 7-night, 10-night itineraries, and then you can pair them up. So you can do back to back to back, but book it as one cruise rather than booking it as 3 individual cruises. They do a great job with this. So like if you're looking at an itinerary and you're like, man, I wish it would be a little bit longer, we can look at the next one or the previous cruise, and maybe we can book you. And what's cool about that, you get one room, right? You get the same room for all of the cruises when you book it that way. So I think, whatever itinerary you're looking at, the Enchanted Princess is absolutely freaking stonking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. John, how are you? Do I know if there are any theme nights on the April cruise with Tony and Jenny B, the Lalito Loca Triangle cruise on the Norwegian Jewel? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Norwegian says. I think Norwegian does do some theme nights over a 7-night cruise. I honestly don't keep up with that stuff because I don't want to bring any extra clothes. Just for one, I already have white shirts, and when I go on Virgin, I bring a red shirt anyway, so I'm ready for Scarlet Night. But I assume Norwegian's going to have some sort of theme night. So, oh, that's right, yeah. So you go on Norwegian a lot. What was that?
They have Glow Party, which is a white party.
Okay.
And they have the silent disco.
So like a glow night with white party, you got a silent disco.
60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s.
And then they usually have a 60s, 70s, and 80s night. Eric is sitting right here. Eric is usually in the chat, but now he's right here giving us play-by-play information.
So that's usually what they have.
Okay. So a 60s, 70s, 80s night, glow night, which is like the white party night, and maybe a silent disco night. So there you go. Thank you. Perfect. That's so nice to have you right here instead of like it popping up like 2 minutes from now. I love it. I love it. Philip, you're on the Carnival Freedom in February. That's awesome. Whoops. B3X, you're going on the Sky Princess November 29th for your very first cruise? Oh, well, welcome to the cruise family. Cheers. Yay. Sky Princess is my favorite princess ship right now. She is gorgeous. She is absolutely gorgeous. So, User 366, you stayed in South Beach Andes after our Virgin Voyages New England cruise, and it was wonderful. Yay!
And
that's awesome.
And for the comment prior to that, from Philip.
Oh yeah.
There are the cruises that have multi-port embarkation debarkation are not from the U.S. They're always in Europe.
Actually, MSC is doing it in the Caribbean now.
Yeah, but that's still not from the U.S. They're doing it from
Yes.
Caribbean ports.
Yes.
You cannot do that from if you're sailing
Yeah.
from a U.S. port.
MSC does that quite a bit in Europe. Like they almost have they run almost a hop on, hop off in the Mediterranean. And now in the Caribbean, they're actually doing it too with, I think, Barbados, San Juan, and I think somewhere else.
Not San Juan.
Barbados, there's like 3 locations in the Caribbean where MSC now has, you can get on the ship in any one of them. So, but there are some, it's primarily MSC that does it. And then of course, like I said with Princess, if there's a bunch of back-to-backs, you might have one cruise going from Barcelona to Athens, and then from Athens up to Ravenna, and then around, so that would technically be, multiple embarkation ports. So yeah. Let's see. Judy says, if you're into art, there's tons of galleries and museums in Miami. You are absolutely right. And since you brought up the Philadelphia cruise, if anybody wants to join us, there is still room on the ship, the Norwegian Jewel. This is going to be the very, very first cruise out of Philadelphia in almost 20 years. It's going to be the Norwegian Jewel sailing April 16th through the 23rd of 2026. We're going to Philadelphia, Bermuda, Charleston, Of course, you can cruise with Tony and Jenny B. We're going to have, obviously, we're going to have an embarkation meetup. And we have 3 sea days. So there are going to be 3 group events during those 3 sea days. We've got around 200 people who are on this cruise. So if you want to come hang out with a bunch of like-minded Tony and Jenny B fans and get to hang out with Tony and Jenny B, and you can sign up for one group dinner with Tony. We're not doing the group dinner every single night. There's almost 200 people. That's a lot of people. So we're doing 3 group dinners, and you can sign up for one of those as well. And of course, Tony and Jenny B are going to be all around the ship, so you'll see them. So if you want to hang out with Tony and Jenny B, it should be a lot of fun to hang out. And we've still got room April 16th through the 23rd of 2026. I'm going to run through all the groups now while I wait for a few more pictures or a few more questions to pop up. Plus, I'll just let you know, for those of you tuning in, we are live on the Emerald Princess right now. And our topic today, actually, we haven't even really jumped into our topic. Our topic today is the old versus new ships. The ship was built in 2007. And there does seem to be a growing bias against the older ships. So I'm going to run down the groups, and then let's talk about that a little bit. So our first group is the Avalon Christmas Time on the Rhine. If you've always wanted to do a Christmas markets cruise, you've wanted to go back and do another Christmas markets cruise, this is going to be December 7th through the 14th of 2027 on the Avalon View. We chose these ships because they have a panorama suite. Almost the entire ship is the panorama suite. 14-foot by floor-to-ceiling glass with your bed facing the glass, so you can just look out at the passing scenery, or if we're docked up, you can look at the people in the next room right across from you. It's going to be December 7th through the 14th. Basel, Switzerland, Breisach, Kell, which is your gateway to Strasbourg, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and then we end up in Frankfurt. So we're going northbound on the Rhine for 7 days. And as of a few weeks ago, our savings are $700 per person for double occupancy. And then we also have solar rates as well. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, go to the group travel page, go to that page and go to the very bottom of the page. All the pricing is there. And then if you want to sign up, you can just go ahead and register for it, and we'll get you all set up on that ship. It's going to be amazing. And of course, the ever amazing Stephanie is coming with us. So if you want to cruise with Stephanie from the Sean and Steph channel, she is scheduled to be with us unless the mouse has other ideas at Disney. So, and then of course, we're doing the Silver Sea Silver Ray, January 5th through the 16th of 2027. It is going to be an 11-day round trip from Miami. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to San Juan, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Seychelles, Guadeloupe, Antigua, and Tortola. This is the newest ship from Silver Sea. We're incredibly excited. I know the people who have signed up for this are incredibly excited to be going on this cruise. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We just talked about Philadelphia, so let's talk about Italy and Croatia. This is going to be stunning. The Celebrity Constellation going from Ravenna around Italy to Civitavecchia. This is October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. I know I'm going through this kind of fast, so depending on where you're watching me right now, I know I'm going kind of fast, but just go to where'swaltertravel.com and then click on the group travel page, and you'll see everything. But we're going to be doing Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and Civitavecchia. We've got a group on here right now. We've got a nice small group on here going to Hawaii, and it is fun to travel together in a group, and then I actually get to meet you all, which is great. And then the one that Eric is going on with Mindy, we have a journey from Hawaii to Japan. If anybody wants to go to Tokyo and you don't want to fly there, Mindy, November 22nd through December 12th of 2026, she is taking the Sapphire Princess, which is sort of kind of a sister to this ship, from LA to Maui, Kilo, Kona, Honolulu, to Maui, to Kauai, and then on to Tokyo. That's going to be absolutely amazing, November 22nd through December 12th, 2026. Eric is going to be there. Mindy is going to be there. That should be an absolutely amazing cruise. So that is all of the group cruises. So let's see, MSC and Explorer Journey from the Mediterranean, which port? Horace wants to know, with MSC or Explorer Journey, which port to leave from, Rome or Barcelona? Well, MSC built their own terminal in Barcelona. So that's supposed to be really, really nice. I don't think it's so much about which port to leave from, it's what do you want your itinerary to be. That's really it. I mean, you can leave from Barcelona, Rome, and Athens and have very, very similar journeys through the Mediterranean. So I think it's really more about how long do you want to be gone and what itinerary do you want? And then the port of departure will just kind of facilitate that. But MSC had built their own terminal now in Barcelona, brand new terminal in Barcelona. That's really nice. MSC is really making some big stakes now in all over the world, to be honest with you. Of course, in North America, they built the largest cruise terminal in the world. They're building so many freaking ships right now. They're coming to the West Coast US. They're going to Alaska. In fact, there's a ship on its way to Hawaii right now. I can't remember which ship it was, but I saw it on Cruise Mapper. I was like, I didn't know MSC was doing Hawaii, but there you go. They're coming to Hawaii, and in fact, the Queen Mary 2 is right behind us as well. So,
and while I will agree that the itinerary is much more important than the embarkation port, you do need to be aware that in Rome, quote unquote Rome, you're actually about an hour away from Rome itself.
You are. Just like our cruise on the Celebrity Constellation, Ravenna is 3.5 hours away from Venice. So we're actually going to overnight in Ravenna. Rather than, so we're going to do 3 nights in Rome, we're going to do 2 nights in Venice, and then we're going to overnight in Ravenna before we get on the ship. So that we've already done that 3.5 hour drive. With Rome, you don't necessarily have to do it, but you could overnight in Civitavecchia too.
But there are a ton of options to get you from Rome to Civitavecchia.
Down, yeah, and I've even hired a private car for some of my clients. So the topic of the day is old versus new, and I'm really curious. I'd like to hear in some of the comments because I've actually had not a growing number of clients, but a certain number of clients now who are really starting to push back against ships that they either consider old, or anything past 5 or 10 years is too old to go on. And I'm just kind of curious because like this ship that we're on right now, this was built in 2007. And of course, Princess and Celebrity and everybody, they do maintain their ships. And there is something, for me, there is definitely something about these older ships. They're classic. And for a lot of times, they go to places where like the big shiny ones don't, either because they're too big to get in, or a lot of times when the big shiny ones come out, they just kind of send them in a loop in the Caribbean or just send them in a standard loop in the Mediterranean so they can get as many people as they can on these new ones. And then the old ones just kind of go off and do these really interesting itineraries. So the other thing about the older ships is very often they're more cost effective. Like if budget is a concern, very often, like if you go on an Emerald Princess versus a Sun Princess, Emerald Princess is almost always going to be a lower cost, but you're going to get the same Princess service. You're going to get a lot of the same food. Maybe some of the amenities are different on here, and the pool's maybe not as big. The screen is not as modern, but you're still going to get a lot of the same things. And our room is definitely dated. You're going to see a video of it. It's basically the same room that we had on the Caribbean Princess 20 years ago. It really is. It still even has the old TV mount platform on there that I'm using to put all my gear on. But there's nothing about a quote unquote older ship that would prevent us from going on it, because we're usually going for the itinerary. And these ships are, I don't know, they're just beautiful. They're beautiful. They're very nautical. That's what I like about them, that you don't forget that you're on a cruise ship. A lot of the modern ships, you kind of forget that you're on a cruise ship. You either feel like you're at a mall, or you feel like you're at a resort, or something like that. But with the older ships, you kind of don't forget that you're on that you're on a ship. And I think there's something about that. Even like with the way the promenades are. Very often the promenades are lower on these ships than they are in the modern ships. Like you're up higher away from the water. The older ships, promenades tend to be a little bit lower, especially on the smaller ship. They tend to be a little bit lower.
And some of the newer ships, the promenade does not go the entire way around the ship.
Yeah, I think the Aqua is like one of the few, like the Prima class, where you can actually go all the way around. Yeah, a lot of these new ships, you just can't, there's no place for you to walk all the way around the ship. You can walk all the way around the ship not only on the promenade, but you can do it up on the top deck too. Up on deck 16, you can pretty much walk the entire ship as well. So, Carol, did you not bring some for everybody?
She
I
asked.
asked.
Carol just went
There's a
down to the
line.
International Cafe, which is right below us. That is your coffee shop. And then they have sweet and savory things all day long that are included, complimentary.
Literally 24 hours
Yeah,
a day.
24 hours a day. She didn't ask me. She apparently asked the other people sitting here, but didn't ask me at all if I wanted something. So that's okay, Carol.
He knows my name. now.
I had breakfast in the buffet. It's all good. It's all good.
Forgot this time.
But let's see. Carl, I'll talk about the ship I'm on right now in just a minute. Stefan, you enjoy the older ships. You love a little bit smaller, love a classic promenade deck, like a classic cruise experience. Yep, I would go with that. You love the Vision. Oh, the Vision of the Seas is what you're talking about? Yeah. Horace likes the mid-sized ship. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Yeah, you know, I think for cruisers who have been doing it for a while, there is kind of a consensus that we like. You know, we do like the smaller ships. There's a lot to like about the Icon class is just spectacular, right? There's so much on it. There's so much to do, so much to see, and the only downside to it is you really can't go very far, right? You can only go to the same islands. You're always going to go to Coco Cay. There's about 6 islands it can go to. So you're just going to kind of keep doing the same old, same old. Whereas when you get on the smaller ship, the older ship, you might be going to different islands. You might be going deeper into the Caribbean. You might be going to Hawaii. You might be going to South Pacific, go to Australia, go to a lot of different places.
They very rare, except for transatlantics, they very rarely do long itineraries on the newer ships.
Yeah.
Usually 7 days is the max, other than the transatlantics.
Right, and like Oceania kind of broke that mold a little bit. It's either the Allura or the...
Oh, well, that's not mainstream line, so.
No, but they're sending one of their new ships on a world cruise, which is very different for a cruise line to do. So, but Carl wants to know about the ship that we are on. Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah, so the ship that we're on right now, this is the Emerald Princess. She was built in 2007, and it's part of the Crown class, sort of, kind of. There's like this nebulous Crown and Gem class, where they built a bunch of ships that look similar, not quite the same, but this is basically identical to the Crown Princess, and she actually has a lot of great venues on her. There's actually 2 nightclubs on it. You got Club Fusion down below, which is used for a lot of things, dance classes, and all kinds of stuff like that.
I think they're about to start Zumba in there.
Yeah, they do Zumba. They're going to do a Super Bowl party down there. They're going to do a Super Bowl party up on the top deck. So Club Fusion is used for a lot of things. And then the Skywalker nightclub up top is an interesting space because it does not really get used until about 10 p.m. at night. So during the day, it's just a beautiful place to sit. It's almost 360 glass all the way around it. We've got 3 main dining rooms on here. These are classic looking dining rooms. It's very brown and beige on here. There's a lot of brown and beige. Now, one of the things that they have done since the last time we were on one of these ships, completely renovated the buffet. The buffet has more of a look of the Sky class now. They don't have the space of the Sky class, but they really opened it up. They brightened it up. It's more grays up there. There are more stations up there now than there used to be. It used to be kind of a tight kind of log jam when you were going through the buffet. Now it's actually very opened up. They added coffee and cones up top. They added the mixed bar. So they're bringing some of the newer elements into the ship as well as they can fit it in. The service, as always, is just spot on. Princess service is amazing. I'll say the baristas are not the best. The coffee's been good, but not the best. I thought the baristas on the Sky Princess and especially the Sun Princess were better. There's one barista though down at the International Cafe. When he's there, I'll let him make my coffees. He's really, really good. But the food's been good. Like even the main dining room's been good. A couple of misses. You know, I had a miss for dinner last night, but the main dining room's been quite good. The buffet's been quite good. The pool area is beautiful. We watched Bohemian Rhapsody as part of the Movies Under the Stars the other night. So this is just a nice classic. Now the rooms are a little dated and the bathrooms are a little dated. There's nothing wrong with them, plenty of space. There's no USB ports, at least not in the main rooms. So we have 4 American outlets, but 2 of them are so close together that if you have a plug that's wide at all, you can't get 2 plugs in. So you know, power's a little bit limited in the room. It's kind of standard for older ships. And there's no European outlets in our room, which was actually kind of surprising, because we always bring an adapter so we can take advantage of that European outlet. But yeah, so far the ship has been very nice. We're sitting in the crooner's lounge right now. You can see it getting very bright behind me now. We were going to be outside. Of course, now it hasn't rained at all, has it? We probably could have sat out there. But it really looked like it was about to downpour right after I set up outside, and I was afraid. But the ship is, I mean, what do you guys think? Are you enjoying the ship?
I love the ship. I like the contrast between the newer ships and the older ships. They're different. I mean, I love the way this ship is designed. The piazza is gorgeous.
Yes, yes. So Eric was just saying he loves the contrast between the older ship, the newer ship. I think the ship is pretty, and of course the piazza, which is your main lobby gathering area. It's absolutely gorgeous. Princess, it's very Italian. There's a lot of Italian stylings that they pulled into the ship, and especially the piazza. They do that. So while there are things that are dated, they do keep up. You know, like the furnishings have been been kept up. The carpets are replaced. The ship is kept up really, really well. So there's a lot to like about a classic ship. Now, you might struggle with navigation a little bit, you know, from time to time, because there are some weird navigation issues.
Yes, some dead ends.
There are dead ends, and there are, like, for example, the Botticelli dining room in the very back of the ship is on deck 6. There's only one way to get there. You got to use the back stairs.
Or back elevators.
Or back elevators. You can't go down to deck 6 and then just walk back to the dining room, because there's another dining room in the way, and there's no way to get to the back dining room. So that's like one of those little weird quirks on the ship. But and then trying to find the sanctuary could be a little bit of a challenge too. So yeah, so there are some fun little quirks about the older ships too. The newer ships almost make it too easy sometimes to find things. So. But yeah, it's a lot of fun being on the older ship. So let's see, Dave Men's going on Star Princess in November. You're gonna love it. Gorgeous ship. What?
Missed the one before that.
Well, you know, things roll up.
Yeah, I
so
understand.
I can't see it. So Rebecca went, you missed the one before. That's my producer over there. You missed. The WOW band on Royal, can you bring one back and reuse on another sailing? That's what they told me when I bought it. I tried it. I was not wowed by it. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest with you. I was able to open my door. That was cool. But then everywhere else, which is kind of funny too, because you know we got the medallions here, and I've got it on my wristband here. They keep asking for the room number. And I'm like, what's the point? It's like so that's what they did on Royal Caribbean too. So I could open it, and because I had to buy it, you know, on Royal, they told me that I can bring it back for another sailing. I don't know.
But it does have to be on a ship that is set up for WOW bands.
That is set up for the WOW bands. Yeah, on Princess, you use them on every ship, but you get new ones for every sailing. So this is not reusable. This little medallion here is not
and
reusable.
it's basically because of battery life in the RFID thing.
Yeah, which is interesting because, you know, they say that you know, we can use the magic bands for a while, and then the WOW band. So you'd think that they would make these so that you could reuse them. So, but you can't. You were on the Disney Magic from Galveston for 4 nights. Lovely. I love it. Dave Man wants to know, is Premier worth it? So I have opinions on that. Eric is emphatically saying yes.
Oh, I do. Oh, I have plus.
But
Right.
only if you drink. If you don't drink alcohol,
But I like
it's not
plus.
worth it.
Yeah.
So Eric is saying if you drink alcohol, he thinks it's worth it. The other thing a bit too is if you're on the Star or the Sun, they have a lot of restaurants on there. And I think it's worth considering on the Star and the Sun, but just because of all those restaurants and the unlimited dining.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dining on there. Now on here, we've got the Crown Grill, we've got Sabatini's. Those are your 2 main paid dining experiences. And then we've got Plank Barbecue, Steamers, and
O'Malley's.
O'Malley's Pub. Those are the 3 casual dining venues, which are also included with Premier. I mean, you do get the 4 Wi-Fi devices. You get the
Reserve seating.
yeah, you get the reserved seating. That I think is one of the best perks because everybody stares at you because you got these nice seats waiting for you like 10 minutes before the show. I love that. But I think the Premier is more worth it on the ships that have more dining. But Eric is saying, you know, if you really like to have cocktails all day long, then it could be worth it because the Plus does have the 15 drink limit. So if that's not enough, then Premier
Well,
could
and
be worth it.
I think there's a
then
dollar limit on Plus.
Yeah, and then there's also a higher spirit level on Premier versus, and you know, Eric does like to have, you know, particular spirits as well. So it's a personal choice. For I would say about 85% of our clients, the Plus is good, and then we got about 15% that are like, you know what, we want the Premier. And certainly on the Sun and the Star, you should definitely consider it, especially if you want to go to all those restaurants. It could definitely be worth it. It would be less, I think, to get Premier than it would be to pay for a specialty dining all 7 nights of your cruise. I think. That's just me.
It's the best deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. I like it. And by the way, if you're on the Star and the Sun, you should seriously consider a sanctuary room too. They're beautiful. Horace is going to buy me a coffee when we meet up. I love it. Anybody want to buy me coffee? You are a friend of mine. Wendy likes everything.
Just don't
we're
buy
saying
him
about
Dunkin' Donuts.
this. Huh?
Just don't buy you Dunkin' Donuts.
Don't buy
coffee.
me Dunkin' Donuts. Well, if somebody's buying it for me, I'll drink it. I'll be nice. But Dunkin' Donuts is not my favorite. No, it is not. Becky does not mind an older ship as long as the AC and the plumbing work. That's a good point. We do like it when the AC and the plumbing works. Yeah, that is nice. Hey, Nurse Tara.
I do think that they do work well here, except sometimes some of the public venues can feel a little warm to me, but I'm always warm, so.
We did notice that, like with the theater a couple nights ago. The theater was unusually warm, and the ship was still bouncing. So we decided to step out of the theater because, you know, a lot of warmth and the ship really bouncing. So we ended up going up to watch Bohemian Rhapsody up on the Movies Under the Stars. That worked out real well. But the whole ship has felt a little warm. Like even this room feels a little warm right now. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it outside earlier. But Horace is asking, you're doing an anniversary cruise in the Med. You're looking at MSC. It will be 4 of us. What ship do you recommend? MSC, again, that's one of those that you really got to look at the fact that it's kind of a hop-on, hop-off scenario with the way they do their ships, because they have, I want to say there's like 6 to 8 ports where you can get on and off that ship. So every time you go to a port, it can be an embarkation day, or almost every time you go to a port, it could be a embarkation day. So it's definitely a different experience because you're not getting on with all the same people and then getting off with all the same people. There's going to be people coming and going with a lot of those Med cruises. We don't sell a lot of MSC in the Mediterranean, so we would just have to go ahead and take a look and you know, offer to you which one we think would work out. We sell in the Mediterranean. We sell a lot of Princess, a lot of Celebrity, Azamara, Oceana, Silversea. Those are like the primary folks. And then down in Greece, we're starting to sell Celestial, which is a great little cruise line down in Greece. So yeah, it all depends. It all depends on what you're looking for, what type of a cruise you want to go on, what 4 of you are looking for in a ship, and then what the 4 of you are looking for in the actual itinerary. So, I mean, if you want to reach out, just set up a time to chat. We'd be happy to chat about it and see what we can find. Go ahead, Rebecca.
And if you have sailed MSC in the U.S., you do also have to be aware that they have ships that sail the Mediterranean that don't have that class here. So you may not have the same venues and the same experiences.
Yeah. Also keep in mind the smoking policies are very different in Europe as well. There's a lot more smoking on the MSC ships in Europe than you might be used to here in the U.S. I don't know for sure, but at one time you were able to smoke on the balconies.
Even
MSC
relatively recently. I'm not sure currently, but...
Yeah. Up until recently, you were able to smoke on the balconies in Europe. on MSC. I don't know if they still allow that, but just something to be aware of, that the smoking policies are much different in Europe than they are over here. So you got to be very aware of that on some of these ships as well. So, Alex wants to know any packing recommendations for Hawaii cruises. Good question, especially if you're doing the round trip out of LA, San Francisco. It can be very cool those first couple of nights after you've left LA, especially if you're doing it in the spring. I think that surprises a lot of people. And then in Hawaii, you always got to be ready for the possibility that it could be rainy at some point that you didn't expect it to be. Reef safe sunscreen. Hawaii is very particular about the sunscreen that you use, especially if you're going to go in the water. So make sure you check the latest recommendations for sunscreen for Hawaii. We had to send some reminders to all of our guests just to remind them, hey, you got to have a specific kind of sunscreen to do that. I feel like I'm back at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. In the tiki room?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm in the tiki room. The music mix has been rather interesting, don't you think? It's just hilarious. We're sitting in Crooners, the Crooners bar. I knew it would be quiet here because it's so early in the morning. Right now, it is just coming up on 9 o'clock in the morning on the ship. And I knew it would be quiet here, but I was not expecting the music mix. It's pretty funny. Stefan said Virgin has some nice Mediterranean itineraries as well. They have some excellent Mediterranean itineraries, especially like their Starry Night, their Greek Starry Night and things like that, really good. Megan, going on your first back-to-back on Royal, do I need to have a boarding pass for the second sailing? What's going to happen?
It depends on where you're sailing too. The process will be different if you're sailing in Europe versus the US.
That's
or
true.
Caribbean.
But usually, like in the US, usually what happens is you're going to get a letter on the last day of the first cruise telling you that at a certain time you're going to meet at a certain location. It might be the theater, it might be a nightclub, but everybody who's doing a back-to-back, they want all of you to gather up in the same place. They're going to lead you off the ship together. Now this is how they do it in the US. They're going to lead you off the ship together because they have to zero out the ship. So there can be 0 passengers on the ship. As soon as the Coast Guard gives the okay, all of you guys are free to go right back onto the ship. So you're going to get back on the ship long before all the other people. Like they'll start embarkation, say around 11:30. You may be back on the ship at 10 a.m. It just depends on, the whole process. You will be the last people leaving the ship. So once everybody else, all the regular passengers have left, then they will take you off in a group. And as soon as the Coast Guard says you can go back on, then you just simply go right back on the ship.
And you will get, if you are on a ship that's using key cards, you will get a new key card for the second.
In general, you get a new key card. So that's generally how it works. So sometimes over in Europe, it doesn't quite work the same way. But anytime you're on a back-to-back, you should get a letter in your stateroom that tells you, hey, this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And just follow those directions and off you go. It's that easy. So, So it's almost 9 o'clock here. What time? So it's 4 hours. So it's like 1 o'clock out there on the East Coast. So I suppose everybody's getting ready for the Super Bowl now. Or the Puppy Bowl. Is the Puppy Bowl on now? I think the Puppy Bowl's on. Like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. That's what we watch. We like the Puppy Bowl. They should put the Puppy Bowl up on the big screen. That's what they should put on. That would be great. So
they probably don't have somewhere that they can broadcast that from.
Yeah. So, well, it's before the game, so they could show it.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is they may not have the rights to something that.
Oh, that's true. Megan said they're both in and out of LA. So that's basically the U.S. way of doing things. You will get a letter in your stateroom. You'll all gather up somewhere on the ship, and then they will lead you off in a group. As soon as the Coast Guard says you can go back on the ship, you'll go right back on the ship. So you'll be back on the ship long before all the rest of the guests are embarking on the ship. Or at least you should be, unless something is really wackadoodle. But yeah, back-to-backs are fun because, everybody's sad, they're going home, and you're like, I'm not going home. I'm staying on for another week. And you rub it in everybody's face. Trust me, you're like, I wouldn't do that. You're totally going to do that. You're totally going to do that on the last night of the cruise. Yeah, you just rub it in everybody's face, Oh, are you going home? That's so sad. I'm staying on the ship for another week. You're gonna do it, even if you're like, no, I'm a nice person. I would never do that to anybody. You're totally gonna do it. You're totally gonna do it. Even nice people are like, bye. I know. It's just a thing about back-to-back cruising. We haven't done a back-to-back in quite some time. We need to do another back-to-back. Been a while. So all you guys watching, I mean, if there is a ship that is older, say older than 10 years, are you concerned about going on that ship? Would you be like, I don't really want, that's an old ship, I don't want to go on it? Or do you like the older ship because they have some character to them? What are your thoughts? Carol, I see you nodding your head. You like the older ships?
I do.
Yeah, why?
It's just classic. It's good stuff. It just feels good. It's warm.
Feels good. Feels good. It's classic. I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's just something, there's something very comforting about coming on the older ship. The newer ships are, look, I'm never going to take anything away from a newer ship.
Yeah. But this is nice. Especially after staying on the Queen Mary.
Yeah, especially after staying on the Queen Mary. Now,
It does
the
seem modern.
Cunard classic ships are absolutely amazing, yes.
Empty your trash cans.
Slides,
Lights.
roller coasters, and all.
Yeah. We have no slides. We have no roller coasters on here. We don't have a whole lot of stuff.
We just have
So
They do have some sort of video arcade, don't they?
there is an arcade on here, yeah.
Arcade.
The Captain's Arcade. You'll find the Captain in there from
Well,
time to
I'm
time.
glad because there was a venue called Churchill's Cigar Lounge, which on pretty much all the Princess ships has now been converted into an arcade,
That's what
but
it
they
is.
were still calling it Churchill's, even though
Yeah.
it was so I'm glad they picked another name.
They did. They
Make it
picked
less
another name,
confusing.
and it is the old Churchill Cigar Lounge because it's right off the casino, which is kind of ironic. The arcade is right off the casino, which is basically an adult arcade now, with all the slot machines and the video games and all of that, right? You almost can't tell the difference between the arcade and the casino now. They look so similar. So Super Bowl is 5.5 hours from now. Does anybody care who wins? I'm kind of curious. Does anybody care who wins? I don't have a
Some
horse in
people
this
care,
race.
sure.
No, I'm just kind of curious. So what do we got? We got the Patriots and the Seahawks are playing. So anybody like really into it? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna? So Paige says she cares. So who are we going with? I guess it's more the question. Who are we going with?
Well,
Megan loves the
let's take a
Navigator.
poll here.
Huh?
Let's take a poll here.
Oh yeah. So Eric.
I'm Seahawks.
By the way, Eric is wearing a 49er shirt, which is very cool. He's got a classic 49er shirt on.
But this Seahawks, I'm Seahawks adjacent because I have a good friend.
Seahawks
And
adjacent.
they're NFC, so National Football League.
So Eric's going with the Seahawks because they're NFC and they're adjacent, to.
I don't care.
Okay, Carol doesn't care. Rebecca.
You know my answer.
Rebecca just likes to look at men in tight pants. I think that's why she likes the game.
Actually, I cannot stand football
Yeah, she does
myself.
not like football.
I
at
don't.
all.
I don't like violent games.
Oh,
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess. I don't know because I haven't seen any of the games this year, so I don't really know.
Oh, looks like
So-
Seahawks are winning.
Yeah, we got Patriots. We got a couple of Seahawks going here.
Well, and so yeah.
So I honestly have not watched any of the games this year, so I don't even know.
Walter's been working very hard for all of you.
I have. I've been working incredibly hard for all of you. I work about 80 hours a week, so it's just kind of fun. Wendy said older ships have character, better views at times. That is one of the things about the old ship. While they're not necessarily ocean facing a lot, they seem to have a lot more views, especially lower down on the ship. You can see out more. That is a good point. A lot of the newer ships, they put so much in the middle and everything. See you later, Carol. They put so much in the middle that sometimes you just don't have the views of the ocean unless you're in certain areas of a ship. So that is good. But okay, so we got Seahawks, we got Patriots. We're Drake May was your quarterback in North Carolina. That's a great reason to go with that team. Love it. Tom, what is my forecast for the next live broadcast? Are we at sea next Sunday? Or are we in Hawaii on Sunday? Depends on where we are on Sunday.
I think we'll be at sea.
We'll be back at sea because we're around the island for 4 days.
And then we have 3 more. And then I have to go back to
Yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we'll be on the islands. Yeah, so we'll be live again next Sunday, probably at noon again. Probably at noon again. We'll be live next Sunday. We won't have a Thursday night because we're going to be in the islands. So, in fact, I think that might be Honolulu. No, that's not Honolulu.
Honolulu's the
Friday.
last one.
Yeah, that'll be Friday. So yeah, so we'll do another live next Sunday for sure. We'll pop up. Horace said the wife and you love the Norwegian Pearl. Yeah, you know, the smaller ships and the older ships seem to have the crew a little bit more personable, maybe because they're not on the newest and the greatest ship out there. But they do seem to be a little bit more personable. So yeah, I like that. Hopefully next Sunday I'll be able to set up where I wanted to set up today. And of course, it doesn't look like it rained at all. There was all this rain all around us, and it does not look like it rained at all out there. So I guess I could have set up. I'll just set up back there the next time, and hopefully we'll have this big, beautiful wake view.
Oh, I brought an umbrella. I'll bring you an umbrella.
There we go. So we'll have the umbrella. So we love the ship to have comfortable seats on the sides of the ship. Yeah, especially like down in the promenade. So that you can't really see it too well, but the promenade is right behind me, and they do have seats. I just kind of like sitting under the lifeboats. There's just something about, it's a very classic cruising, sitting under the lifeboats. I do love that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun on here. It's certainly the most movement we have felt on a ship for such an extended amount of time. We went through a nor'easter in October on the Brilliant Lady. First of all, the ship did handle brilliantly, but we were taking broadsides quite a bit, and so there was just a lot of rattling going on, a lot of hammering going on with the waves were hitting it. But that was about 5 hours, maybe 8 hours, and we were out of it. With this particular storm, we were in it for like about 48 hours, and it was just a constant roll. And the captain told us we were in better condition than if we'd have taken the normal track that we were supposed to take. So yeah, so I can't even imagine what it would have been like had we gone straight on through. So best old fashioned so far, I think here at Crooners they made the best one so far. The old fashions are not the best on this ship so far. I have not found a bar that makes a really, really, really good one. Although they do have the Good Spirits bar downstairs. I may have to try one down there. The Good Spirits bar is supposed to be their high-end craft bar on the ship, and I actually have not been down there. That's where Elliot and my Sky Princess video made that amazing, like the best old-fashioned on a princess ship. So if Elliot was here, we would be very happy. We really are getting a lot of Hawaiian music now, aren't we? It's kind of fun. Let's see. Mel, for the Port of Miami, you hear there is construction. There's construction all the time in Miami. If you have a cruise plan for March 1st, you recommend an early check-in or a check-in around 11 or so. So Miami, so number one with Miami, you want to look at something like Cruise Mapper or look at the Port of Miami and see how many ships are going to be in on the day that you come in. So if there are 5 or fewer ships in Miami, the traffic should not be too bad.
Well, and it also makes it different what size ships are in.
Yeah, but if there's 5 or fewer ships in general, it's not as bad as when there are 7, 9, 10 ships in there. I believe it's Sundays that the Icon and the World America are there together. So those are 2 ridiculously big ships, and maybe the Celebration is there as well from Carnival. So those are always very busy days, and especially if they're making all the traffic go all the way down to the end, which is where the Icon and the World America are sitting side by side. If they make you go all the way down there and then back, it is a slog to get back. They have started now making these earlier turnoffs for people who are trying to get like up to Virgin Voyages and things like that. So number one, you want to see how many ships are going to be there. Number 2, you don't want to show up too early because there's still all the people coming off the ship, so there's nowhere for you to go. They may not even let you inside the terminal yet. I think we tend to target somewhere between 11 and 12 showing up, depending on what time our arrival time is. Like I think our arrival in Miami is going to be between 11 and 11:30 for the Encore. It's coming up.
Yeah, I think so.
So you know, again, we're going to have to take a look at how many ships are in port that day to kind of time it. I mean, part of it is like you might time it on the back end, try to come cruising in after everybody's been there, but then if there's a lot of traffic, you kind of screwed yourself because you don't have much time to get to the ship. So, yeah,
it is a very big roll of the dice either
Yeah.
way.
So I tend to aim for the earlier side of my check-in window. It's usually what I tend to aim for. We tend to show up, well, like for Virgin Voyages, we can't get on the ship until 1:30. So we do show up, you know, closer to 1 at that time, and it's usually not all that bad getting on there. But if you're coming in, say, between 10:30 and noon, 10:30 and 12:30, that's probably going to be prime time for driving in. Big thing I would recommend is booking your car. Like if you're going to do Lyft, Uber, schedule your car a day in advance. Don't wait until the day of. Because even though there's hundreds of drivers in Miami, they get jammed up pretty quickly. So if you schedule your ride in advance, you should be getting picked up at the time you want to get picked up. So I hope that was helpful. Bills fan says anybody but the Patriots. I love that from Bills fan. That's hilarious. Yeah, they are trying to get us in the mood. We have some Hawaiian dancers on here. We got a ukulele player. So.
Well, there is a husband and wife who are the Hawaiian ambassadors for the cruise. And
Yeah.
I think he teaches the ukulele classes and she teaches the hula classes.
Yeah, we were
There's
watching
arts
them
and
yesterday.
crafts. They have lectures.
It's all kinds of great stuff. In fact, there is there's a space lecture coming up at 10:30 that I'm going to. I'm excited. You have 9 back-to-backs starting in 30 days. Any tips? So with that many back-to-backs, you can kind of use a strategy like what we did, where you plan, you know, build in your laundry days, because you don't want to pack for 9 back-to-backs. Otherwise, you're going to be bringing on, you know, 20 pieces of luggage. So we build into, we're traveling for 30 days right now. We came to Disneyland for 4 days. Now we're on this ship for 16 days. And we fly to Miami, and we're going to be on another ship for 7 days. So we're gone from home for about 30 days. So we built in, what, 2 laundry days, 3 laundry days?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of depends. But
Yeah.
basically, we packed for 10 days.
Yeah.
With extra socks and underwear, but we packed as if we were going for 10 days.
Right. So we, you know, and then we just keep doing laundry. So with something like that, you want to factor in your laundry days, and you might want to factor in the budget too. Depending on which cruise line you're going on, you might have self-serve laundry, or you might have to send it out. But even if you have self-serve laundry, it could be a challenge getting a washing machine or a dryer, because there's a lot of other people who have the same idea. So yeah, so that's my biggest tip, is to don't overpack. Pack for like 7 to 10 days and build in laundry days, so you're not bringing so much stuff that you're going crazy. That's my biggest tip. And then of course, pay attention to the information that's going to come to your room at the end of each of those legs of the cruise. Yep.
And if you do have self-serve laundry on your cruise line, my mother, I have not personally tried them yet. I have them, but my mother swears by these things called color grabbers. So it's these sheets that you put in with your laundry, so you can mix darks and lights, and you don't have to have 2 separate machines.
How about that? How about that? That's interesting. So something called a color grabber that you can throw in your laundry.
Yeah, you can get them in grocery stores or like
That's pretty
Target.
cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, and Megan has another question when we go with that, with back-to-backs. Will they tell me what to do with the luggage if I'm moving cabins for a back-to-back? And that does happen sometimes. Like you can't get the same cabin for both, or one you're like, I'm just going to get an inside for this one, but then I want to get the nice balcony for the next one. Coordinate that with your room there. And I think Carnival may have made a decision too like that, where they actually brought the ship in a day early. Now you didn't have to disembark the ship, but they brought it in, I believe it was Galveston. They brought it into Galveston, they beat the storm, and then they just stayed tied up for the night. And you had the option, you could leave the ship on the day that it got there, or you could just leave the ship on the normal day. But that is just to keep everybody safe. I mean, if the space is available, and you know, Royal has their own terminal there and they only got a couple of ships, they made the decision that they could get the ship to port and not be out in the rough weather, kind of like what we experienced the past couple of days. So yeah, the cruise lines will do that from time to time. We had a case where on MSC where we came back 7 hours late because there was a storm between us and Port Canaveral. So the ship basically didn't come to a stop, but it really slowed down, let the storm pass, and then we came up. And I mean, we came into Port Canaveral 7 hours late. That was the ugliest disembarkation we've ever been a part of, because it was just a cluster with all capital letters. It really
well,
was.
and I think more people were trying to self-disembark than might normally because they needed to get to flights or...
Pretty much everybody was self-disembarking, so we had so much luggage and everything. But I actually like what Royal did more. I'd rather come in early so everything's just kind of in place, and then it gave people the option if they wanted to try to sneak out before the storm left, they could leave. So yeah, we haven't had it personally happen, but things can happen with cruises. You know, like I said, there are ships ahead of us right now that are in Hawaii that have missed some ports because of the same weather that has been affecting us trying to get to Hawaii. So you know, things happen, and in that case, they made the decision. They had a dock that they could bring it in. Oh, well, actually, you know what? It did happen to us. Stephanie and I were on the Margaritaville Islander, and there was a heavy fog warning in Tampa. This happens in Tampa, where a heavy fog comes in, and there's a bridge that we have to go under. And when there's a heavy fog, you can't go under that bridge. Like, you can't go under the bridge. You cannot come into Tampa Bay. It's too dangerous to come in. And we were on our last sea day on our way back to Tampa. And at about 8 o'clock in the evening, we spotted the bridge. Now, we're not supposed to go under that bridge until like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, they were beating the fog because the marine fog warning was at 10 p.m. until morning. And we were under the bridge at 10 o'clock. We were tied up at midnight. And sure enough, the fog came in. The Carnival ships were stuck out at sea. There were like 2 ships stuck out at sea. So yeah, we actually did that too. We were tied up. I mean, it wasn't a full day early, but we were tied up. We were in Tampa Bay at 10 o'clock in the evening on our last sea day, where we should have still been out of sea. So yeah, they do that sometimes. So Megan says that the color catchers are great.
My mother swears by them. Like I said, I haven't yet personally tried them out, but...
Okay, well, we'll have to give them a try. And then Bean's mom said they love the Emerald Princess. Emerald Princess is great. We've been sending a bunch of clients on this, the Ruby, the Crown, because they're up in Alaska, the Grand, the Sapphire. These are all great ships from Princess. They do a really good job taking care of them. The crew does a great job taking care of us. So yeah, you know, we didn't really talk as much about the topic of old versus new, but don't discount any ship just because they might be older. That's the point. You know, one of the things that Rebecca and I do, we do a lot of research on these ships. And so if there's a ship that you really should not go on, we're going to tell you, you know, you really probably don't want to go on that ship because of X, Y, Z.
And it also just depends on what your most important factor is. Is your most important factor what you're going to be able to do on the ship? Or is your most important factor the itinerary? Or is your most important factor the price? And that can change what ship you might want to go on, depending on which is most important.
And you know, depending on the time of year you want to go, where you want to go, where you want to sail from, I mean, that narrows down. There's only so many ships we can choose from at that point.
Well, like for us with this cruise, I knew I wanted to go out of LA because we wanted to do Disneyland.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do round trip from California to Hawaii. So our choices were Emerald Princess or the Carnival Radiance.
Yeah.
So.
And so we chose the Emerald Princess because we like the Princess line. Nothing wrong with the Carnival Radiance. We just like the service and the food on Princess a little bit more than Carnival. So we went with that. We could have gone with Holland America if we'd opted to go out of San Diego, where they are, but we really wanted to go to Disneyland. So that narrowed down that. But our friends are on Holland right now. They're having a great time, but they are missing some ports because of all this weather. So yeah, so the weather, you know, even in Hawaii and the Pacific Ocean can definitely be an interesting ocean to go through, you know, all year long, and it's kind of living up to its reputation. So yeah. So yeah, we love these older ships. We really love these older ships. There's a lot to be said for it. And, you know, I love the new ship too. I mean, when I go on Icon, I go on Star, I have a great time. I go on the older ship, I have a great time. Azamara, speaking of older ships, I mean, Azamara has some of the older ships out there operating right now, and they are doing a, how much are they putting into those ships? Like 200, something like 250 million, 200 million into each one of their 4 ships. They're going to be amazing. They're going to be absolutely amazing. So you can take old ships and modernize them up, just like what they did here with the buffet. The buffet looks like a modern buffet now. It looks like what they've done on their newer ship. And then they kept a lot of the classic stylings all around. But yeah, there's a lot to be said for these older ships. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up, because I can see they're starting to set up now for the bar service. So I definitely want to get out of their way. So thank you so much for, oh, somebody said they're having crazy wind on Maui right now. Oh, wow. Good to know. I'm hoping that we don't have too much wind in Kauai, because that's where I've got my big helicopter flight, provided that, you know, we don't have crazy wind. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining in, guys. We will probably be back next Sunday, because it will be another sea day. We got 5 sea days on our way back, and then we're going to be stopping in Ensenada. But we will be in Hawaii on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For those 4 days, we will actually be in Hawaii. Sea day today, sea day tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us, folks. If we can help you in any way with your travels, please do reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you. Myself, Corey, Mindy, and of course Rebecca, we would all love to help you in any way we can. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate it. So wherever you are in this amazing world, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and hopefully we'll see you next Sunday. So see you later, guys.